As some of you know, Parfums De Marley has some of the best fall and winter fragrances. Here is my top 8.
I finally found what I'm missing, and now you got all my attention. Driving me wild, got me wishing that you were all mine. You're irresistible, it's so refreshing. You're irresistible, tell the essence. I can feel your energy all over me. Close my eyes and I breathe in. You're irresistible.
Welcome back to Carolina Fragrance Reviews. I'm your host, Cam. Make sure that you're subscribed, activate that notification bell, follow us on Instagram at cam.byrd. Okay, I could have easily came up with 10 for this list, but I wanted to do 8. I'm not gonna drone on about these fragrances too much, so let's go ahead and get to the first one. Although I do have 8 fragrances picked, the first few that I'm gonna show you are like towards the latter for me, but once I start getting to like the last 4 or 5, they're not really in any particular order because it just really depends on what type of mood I'm in or what the situation is as far as what will be number 1. The first fragrance I'm gonna share with you coming in at number 8 is Dolphin. Dolphin is rich, it's thick, it is a statement maker for sure. I have yet to receive any compliments with this fragrance by itself. I have layered it with other fragrances and got some compliments, but this is a type fragrance if you're just, got a bold personality, you really want to go out there, this would be a perfect fragrance to wear with a leather jacket. Dolphin opens up with a bittersweet and spicy thyme and some earthy saffron. You get a little bit of florals in there with some rose, but it does definitely get more, more bold and a more pronounced leather note. The best way I could describe Dolphin is a woody leather fragrance. The performance on this is really good. It's about 2 hours of a scent bubble and 10 hours of performance. Let me read you the notes. Dolphin was released in 2010. The notes are thyme, saffron, cypress, green notes, fruity notes, and matte. Next fragrance is kind of a love or hate fragrance that I actually like myself. It is a 2000 release Pegasus. What some people say about this fragrance that makes them dislike it is the slight chemical opening on it. And it does have kind of a, it is a little bit of a weird opening. It's kind of slightly metallic, kind of chemical opening, but it's definitely some almond in there. You definitely get that lavender. And it dries down really nice. To me, this is kind of a regal type smelling fragrance. The first time I wore this fragrance, it was slightly cool outside. Not quite cool enough to have a jacket on, but just a little nippy. But I had like cotton pants on, a cotton shirt. It was kind of cool and breezy. I remember going to the grocery store wearing this, and the wafts that were coming off of me were, I actually just felt like just regal, royalty. There is just something special about this. I know some of you don't like this fragrance, but I've got plenty more for you. Let me go over the notes on this one. Pegasus was released in 2011. The notes are bergamot, heliotrope, caraway, lavender, almond, jasmine, ambergris, vanilla, and sandalwood. Pegasus has decent performance. It's not as stellar as some of the other ones, but you are gonna get probably maybe 7.5 to 8 hours of performance and about 2 hours of a scent bubble. The next fragrance I'm gonna share with you has been labeled like an upscale Hugo Boss bottled. It is Habdun. This was part of the Middle Eastern collection that they put out. It was this one and Ocean. I absolutely love this fragrance. I do get compliments when I wear this one. It's not like a lot of compliments, but when I do get them, they're really nice. This is a very comforting and warm fragrance. This fragrance is thick and rich, but not overly dark. Habdun opens up with a spicy saffron, some warm vanilla, some apple, some caramel. As I said in a previous review, Habdun reminds me of the state fair in the fall going around and getting those caramel apples, but this one would be like a spicy caramel apple. This one is also a very sexy fragrance. Like I said, when you do get compliments on this one, they're nice because this is a warm and inviting, sexy fragrance in my personal opinion. Let's go over the notes. Hobden was released in 2013. The notes are saffron, frankincense, apple, woods, rose, ambergris, caramel, and myrrh. Times that you would wear Hobden would be date night or maybe like a family get together around the holidays.
Today's episode is proudly brought to you by www.wickedfragrances.com. Go to Wicked Fragrances for a wicked good deal on brands like Parfums De Marley, Amage, Montal, Mancera, and many, many more. Use code CFR10 for 10% off an already wicked good deal. Again, go to www.wickedfragrances.com. You're going to smell wicked good.
Any of you who follow this channel know that I love tobacco. The next fragrance is one of the best tobacco fragrances I've smelled. It's Harrod. This was released in 2012. Now, we did a video on this fragrance recently, and there were a lot of people in the comments that were complaining about the performance on this, or later batches having weaker performance. I have not personally experienced that. I don't know if it's just it works that well on my skin or I just have a better batch, whatever the case may be. I think this bottle is 2013, so that might be the explanation. Now, tobacco and vanilla has been done in numerous fragrances. One thing that kind of drives me batty, if there are notes that are similar in fragrances, people say, oh, well, that's a clone, this is a clone. I mean, if that was the case, every fragrance that had vanilla and tobacco or honey or any of that in it, they would all be like, you know, clones of each other. That's not the case. This one has some nice cinnamon in it. It's spicy. The tobacco is dialed down. It has subtle florals in it, and it's definitely got some woodsiness to it. I think it is a very well-balanced fragrance. I get mad compliments when I wear this. This would definitely be the date night fragrance, the cuddle and chill, watching Netflix night, going out. This is very versatile. For fall and winter, this is gonna be perfect for even work or just about any situation. Harrod was released in 2012. The notes are cinnamon, pepperwood, osmanthus, tobacco leaf, frankincense, labdanum, vanilla pod, woods, atlas cedar, vetiver, patchouli, isoe super, cypriol, and musk. Parfums De Marley, if you are watching, if there is a problem with the performance, it would be awesome if you guys would fix that because this is one of the best tobacco fragrances there is around. Parfums De Marley has definitely had some fragrances that have had some hype behind them. I'm not sure if there's been as much hype as there was behind the 2017 release Layton Exclusive. Layton really was a huge hit for Parfums De Marley. The Layton Exclusive was kind of like that extra sucker punch upside the head. It really turned a lot of people's heads, and some people dislike this fragrance. To me, this fragrance is super masculine, and what they did is they took the note breakdown of the regular Layton and they added some coffee and some civet. The civet definitely gives it a slight animalic tone to it, but not overly animalic like some fragrances with civet. The primary notes that I get in Layton Exclusive are vanilla, amber, and coffee. If you like those notes, more than likely you'll love this. This is a more dressed up Layton. Layton Exclusive could be considered more upscale or it could be like semi-casual, definitely a date night fragrance. The performance on Layton Exclusive is almost nuclear. 2.5 to 3 hours of sillage and about 11 to 12 hours for performance. This is definitely one of the more beastly Parfums De Marley on my skin anyway. Layton Exclusive is a deep, rich, and thick fragrance, and when I read you the notes, they are slightly misleading. The primary notes that I get are amber, vanilla, coffee, and a little bit of the civet. Let's go over the official notes. Layton Exclusive was released in 2017. The notes are bergamot, pink pepper, mandarin, aquatic notes, grapefruit, rose, geranium, water lily, gardenia, civet, cardamom, sandalwood, gaiac wood, amber, vanilla, coffee, and musk. This fragrance is sexy, beastly, and you will get compliments. While we're on the discussion of Layton and Layton Exclusive, let's go ahead and go over our champion from last year of the men's winter date night fragrances is Layton. Layton was put against some of the more popular designer and niche fragrances that were handpicked from my collection by our special guest, Desiree. Desiree was doing a lot of videos with us. She did have some personal things going on. We're doing our best to get her back on. You definitely need to go down and check that video out though. Layton was put against Aventus, Green Irish Tweed, Reflection Man, The One, Blue de Chanel. I mean, a lot of bangers. I mean, just banger after banger after banger after banger. And like I said, she actually went through the collection and handpicked each fragrance. Although it wasn't shown on the video, the dry downs were done on that video. You do see them on the opening, but she was already familiar with that, but we're gonna leave the link to that video down below. Layton is a spicy sandalwood fragrance with some sweet vanilla and lavender with some very light florals. I get excellent performance with this, and there is a scent bubble from you know where when you wear this fragrance. You will definitely get compliments. It's not for everyone. Not every woman is gonna like it, but when I wear this, I do get compliments, and we had a very sexy lady also concur with that. This is definitely a sexy beast and a compliment king. Let's go over the notes. Layton was released in 2016. The notes are mandarin, apple, lavender, violet, jasmine, geranium, gaiac wood, patchouli, sandalwood, cardamom, vanilla, and pepper. It would be fair to say that Layton is also a versatile fragrance. Yes, it is more of like a date night fragrance. I would definitely say that this would be ideal for that. But if you go light on the trigger, this could also be worn at work, but you definitely would not want more than like 2 sprays, especially if you're like in a cubicle situation. You might want to go with 1. Test it, see how it does on your skin first before you go and invade your office space. The next fragrance is probably the loudest of the lot, and anybody who likes this fragrance loves it. It is Carlisle. Carlisle is deep and rich and thick and loud and sexy. Carlisle opens up with some bergamot, mandarin. It has some smoky vetiver. There is definitely a presence of a light violet vibe going on, and then the backbone of it all is patchouli. This one is definitely extremely loud. You need to be very careful with how you spray this one. You can get a little bit nose blind to it. I have been guilty of that myself. I didn't really realize how loud this fragrance was until my brother was wearing it. He had just picked up a bottle and walked past me, and I was like, God bless America. And then he went into the store, and I was like, dude, you have sprayed way too much on. And like I said, I'm guilty of doing the same thing sometimes, but you don't really notice it until you smell it on somebody else. So I would definitely recommend this fragrance, but I'd also recommend testing it and see how it performs on your skin, because this sucker pops. Even though Carlisle is extremely sexy and attention getting, I would be careful with this one about where I wore it, and definitely about how much I put on. This would not be a fragrance that I would recommend wearing to the office unless you're not in a situation where you have a lot of people around you. This can be an intrusive fragrance, but it's also a statement maker. If you're a person that likes to get attention, if you want to go out to the club and grab somebody's attention, that would be a crowded atmosphere where you might want to be around other people, but don't overspray. Carlisle was released in 2015. The notes are bergamot, mandarin, violet, jasmine, gaiac wood, patchouli, and cardamom. Carlisle has teeter-tottered back and forth with other fragrances as my favorite Parfum De Marley. Like I said, some of these latter fragrances, it's just all about when I'm wearing them, how cold it is outside. When it's like really, really cold, this would probably be my favorite, except for maybe the next one. Now, when I said except for maybe the next one, again, it's gonna depend on what type of mood I'm in. But if I'm in a mood for like a really sweet and sticky and delicious gourmand that's really spicy, Ocean. This is also one of the releases from the Middle Eastern line. And I'll tell you what, this is a beautiful fragrance. I did fall in love with Ocean right from the very beginning, but it did remind me a lot of another fragrance that I had in my stash, which is Hermes Ombre Nougat. Now, if you like a sticky, syrupy, sweet amber fragrance, this is definitely gonna get the job done for you. If you're a big fan of amber fragrances that has kind of that sticky, syrupy, rich, just well-rounded gourmand heaven, this is gonna be your fragrance. Ocean opens up spicy with cinnamon at the top. Cinnamon, there's honey. I mean, it's just, oh my God, this is so, so good. There's benzoin in there. It's just all the makings of a really, really good gourmand that, gosh, like around the holidays, when you think about being with your family, having big family dinners, or even if it's just you and your significant other cuddled up, this is a very warm, inviting, sensual, dark, seductive fragrance. It's slightly fruity. You definitely get some florals behind it, but if you don't like amber fragrances, if you don't like gourmands, you will not like this one, because that is definitely what this is. This is a gourmand to the core, amber at its best. Ocean was released in 2013. The notes are cinnamon, honey, osmanthus, benzoin, labdanum, ambergris, patchouli, musk, vanilla, and tonka bean. The dry down is also beautiful. You definitely get some of that patchouli, a little bit of powderiness from the tonka bean, and some nice musk mixed with a little bit of vanilla. This is definitely for the sweet tooth enthusiast. So if you guys were wondering which Parfum De Marley that you wanted to wear this fall and winter, there are 8 picks right there. Cologne would also be a nice pick. I don't have a full bottle of that, and I haven't fell in love with it as much as I have these right here. I'm sure if I get more wearing with Cologne, I felt like it was a very solid release. I just felt like it would not be fair even just for me to have a decant and have it with these when I've worn these fragrances a lot more. So if you're missing Cologne, that's why I didn't put it in here. So that's gonna wrap it up for my top 8 Parfum De Marley for fall and winter. Remember, whatever you do, be disruptive, wear what you want, when you want, have fun. Make sure that you're subscribed to Carolina Fragrance Reviews, activate that notifications bell, smash that like button, leave us some comments down below. We'll see you next time on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.
Bro, are those Parfums De Marley we're talking about in here? I love them.
That's what I thought.